Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Golden Talk with Viv. Today, you are in for a treat where we're going to be talking about a home is not a home without the memories that's inside of it. So, Golden Talk with Viv, a house is built with walls, and home is built with memories. So, let's talk about that. A house is built with walls, but a home is built with memories. Wow. Are you in for a treat today? Today is our Memorial Day weekend special, where we're going to be going over what a home is like with seniors and everything like that. But I hope you grab what you need to grab. I'm grabbing my drink here. But happy Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day weekend. And good morning to everyone. And welcome to another episode of Golden Talk with Viv. I am your host, Viv Cunningham, with Preferred Real Estate Brokers here in this beautiful Central Florida. First of all, happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day weekend to everyone for joining us. And thank you guys for joining us today where you are listening, wherever you're listening from, whether you're listening from your kitchen table or the back porch, your recliner with your coffee, or maybe, a family member is sitting with you, getting ready to barbecue this weekend, or you're preparing for your barbecue, you're preparing with your family. But that's what it's all about. Thank you guys for spending part of your morning with me for this Memorial Day weekend. So after this, you won't hear from me for the Memorial Day weekend because I'm going to take some downtime and I'm just going to relax. But today, conversation is very special and dear to me. We're going to be talking about Memorial Day, that what the meaning of a home, okay? The family memories, the sacrifices of soldiers, and why a house is never really just a house. Because let me tell you something, a home, it holds memories, it holds stories, it holds laughter, it holds tears, and it holds generations. Okay. Many people live in their homes for many, many years, and it holds a lot of memories. And for many seniors, especially, the home becomes a scrapbook of life. Wow. Isn't that something? A scrapbook of life. So today we're going to laugh a little and just reflect a little and maybe even get some emotional moment out. But most important, we are going to honor those who gave us freedom to even have a place to call home. And it is so important, okay? So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's talk. I'm going to have a drink. So I'm just going to open up in prayer today before we move on. And before we begin, let's take a quiet moment just to honor our soldiers that gave their life for us and just their memories. So let's just take a moment and slow down. Feels very peaceful just to take a moment. But Heavenly Father, today we come before you. We just want to say thank you for our soldiers out there. Memorial Day is different from Veteran Day, but Memorial Day is when the loss of life. So I just want to honor our service provider, honor our service member, honor our family member, that served for us and went for us. We just want to honor them. We just want to lift them up. The ones that are out there, we want to keep them safe and protect them and guide them that they will come back home to their family members. And it is really important. So today we remember the men and women who laid down their lives for our country and for, I would say, this country, United States of America. Some never made it back home to sit at the dinner table again. Some family received folders folded flags instead of just a hug and a folder, you know. But, that's when you go and you prepare because you never know if you're coming back home. And because of their sacrifices, we get to wake up in freedom. So we thank you. We thank you for going for us. We thank you for the freedom that you gave that we may wake up today. So today we honor you. We honor them. We thank them and we remember them for what they did for us. What Memorial Day is really, what does it really mean? Okay. Now, let me say this. A lot of people confuse Memorial Day with Veterans Day. Okay. Memorial Day is to honor the people who lives has been lost. Okay. So Memorial Day honor those who never made it home. Okay. Veterans Day. Okay. So when you're sending a message by saying Happy Memorial Day, it's usually not a happy day. It's usually a sad day. Veterans Day now honor everyone who served and are still here and made it home. So know the difference. So don't send somebody a message and say Happy Memorial Day, and all of a sudden they're crying because it's not a happy day for them. It's not a happy day. But if it's Veteran Day, you can say Happy Veterans Day. But Memorial Day, you need to, think about what you're saying and think about what you're putting inside your message. That's heavy when you really think about it. When you really think about, somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's husband, maybe somebody's wife, maybe somebody's mama, somebody's daddy. They gone too soon. They gone too soon because of this cruel world that we live in. We go fight wars for what reason? For things and this and that. It's not necessary. You're fighting for mineral. You're fighting for oil and stuff like that. And just think about how many people have lost their lives just because we mingle in something that we really didn't need to be in. Sometimes, why can't we have peace? Why can't we have peace? So sometimes during Memorial Day weekend, people get caught up in the sales, the cookout, the mattress discount, and the beach trip. But that's not what it's all about. Okay, so behind every flag, there is a story. And we need to know that. We need to know that, the flag, the folded flag that people, you go inside people's home and they see that folded flag. Remember, I always, every time I see someone that is a veteran, I always say thank you for your service. When I sell a home, we have an office admin fee that everyone is charged. Buyers, sellers is charged. I usually don't charge my veteran because that's me thanking them for my freedom for me to be able to sell them a house. So behind every Memorial Day, I'm behind every wall, a family's waiting for their loved ones to come back home. And sometimes they don't necessarily make it back home. So that's why today, this weekend here, Memorial Day, it matters. Just remember that it matters. It matters to families. So appreciate it. Thank the families for what they do. Their loved one, lost their loved one, reach out to them, help them, give them whatever it is that you can do to help them. There's a lot of help out there for veterans. You just have to find it, and there's a lot of help. Find it. Find the help that's out there for them. Because seek and ye shall find. Sometimes the veterans can't find it, but as a person, as a community advisor, as a community advocate, go and find those resources for them and help them up. Okay, help them out. Don't give them a handout. Help them up. Okay, one of the biggest thing I've learned as a realtor over the years is that a house is just brick and concrete. But a home, it's emotional. Okay. Oh, yes. Yes. You really think that? Yes, it's emotional. So people don't just buy square footage. Okay. They buy the dream. They buy safety. They buy the tradition. They buy the peace of mind. They buy the memories, people. The memories. That is so important. Buying memories because that's what a house is all about. And especially seniors, understand this deeply. Okay, senior understand this deeply, that a home is just not a wall. It's the memories that you raise your kids, you raise your grandkids, your family get together and stuff like that. That is what a home is. Now remember this. You remember the smell of the dinner cooking, your mom cooking dinner, even your dad cooking dinner. You remember that? Remember the kids running around in the hallway. You remember the graduation, the birthday party, the Christmas morning, where everybody's eyes is as big as ever to see what kind of gift that Santa brought them, even though Santa doesn't bring them any gift. Their parents is the one that works hard for it. And they come up with this thing that says Santa gave it to them. But remember, your parents is the one that works hard for that gift. Okay. And then they put it underneath the tree, and your eyes are big and open for that morning. So the Christmas morning gift, usually we can't wait to rip them apart, and you rip them apart. And as soon as you finish ripping them apart, you're happy for the moment, and then you put them aside. You never pick them back up again for the next 10 months. So family arguments at the kitchen table, in the kitchen, at the table, at the dining room table, and those moments when everybody finally made up before it's bedtime. But what an awesome thing it is for family. I always tell my daughter, try not to move too far from your family, because no matter how you and your family fuss and fight, you need them. Okay, you need them. So home carries all of that and so much more. Sometimes I walk into a home with my clients and they'll say, "Hey Viv, this is where my husband sat every morning." Or this wall still has a mark where my I measured my grown kids or my grandkids. Okay. So every time they grow, you see the measurement, and you walk in the wall and you walk in and it's still, they paint around those areas and they just leave it there so people can walk in and see, yeah, my kids live here, my grandkids was growing up here, my children was growing up here, and these are their heights and stuff like that. But it's kind of cool to go inside homes and see that. And let me tell you something. Those are the moments that makes real estate more than just real estate. Those are the moment that I cherish, the stories that they're telling me when I'm walking around and it's time to put their house on the market, because home holds a lot of history. It holds a lot of memories. Okay. Family funny story. Now let's light up the world and light up everything, whatever it is that's going on, the generational, all of that good stuff, and here comes all of a sudden somebody talking about the barbecue, somebody talking about, the swimming pool, somebody talking about how long they lived there, their neighbors, and all of that good stuff. So that alone is just joy and joy to remember, because every family gathering has that one family members that comes now and say, exactly, I am about to talk. Please listen. Every Memorial Day cookout, they have some family member, some uncle who thinks he still is the grill master. I have one of that in my family. I have one of that in my family. Or the auntie that carries the aluminum foil pan like she's catering for the entire country. Crazy of mine. Golden talk with them. Golden talk with them. It's just an awesome day. Awesome day. Have some coffee with me. Have a cup of coffee. A friend of mine gave me this mug and it was cool. I like it. Thank you, friend. Elijah. He gave it to me as a birthday gift. I think it's been a couple of years. I think he gave it to me. It could have been last year, but memory is not so good sometimes. Okay, so let's move on. The cousin that shows up empty-handed but leave with 3 plates of food, and they brought nothing. But you know what? That is what family is all about. Okay, family is messy, but it is fun, and it is my family. It's your family. Okay, and somebody always saying, "Don't touch my potato salad. That's my potato salad." And then all of a sudden, you pack up this plate, and you pack the plate up, and you put it someplace up on the refrigerator or someplace far out of sight. And then when you go to go find it, You can't find it. Somebody took it. It's like, who took my potato salad? Oh man. And somebody's always talking about that chairs that no one is allowed to sit in. It might be Papa's chair, it might be Grandpa's chair, but no one is allowed to sit in it other than Grandpa or Papa. That special chair. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Granddaddy chair. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody knows that. Don't sit in Papa's spot, but sometimes we sit in it, because we feel that connection to our loved ones. And it's great. It's great to be able to do that. Even after they pass away, sometimes the family still honor the spot where you might say that's dad's spot or that's grandpa's spot, and it is pretty powerful how powerful the memories are that you remember the laughter, you remember that's grandpa's chair and stuff like that. Senior memories, the memories that senior have inside their home, it is very and pretty special. Senior carries stories younger generation desperately needs to hear. And younger generation, listen to me. Sit down at your grandpa, sit down at your mother, sit down at your father's feet, and let them tell you that story. Let them tell you those stories because those are the memories that you will have. Because if they don't tell you that story, those stories going to die with them. It's almost like I always tell people, said, a lot of people needed to write a book or write books. And in the cemetery, a lot of memories are inside the cemetery because people die with their story because they never had the opportunity to tell their story. So sit down by their feet and listen. Ask them questions. My daughter, she'll sit down by my Aunt Edna or my mom or my Aunt Eula, and they're telling story. And she'll sit down there and she'll ask them all kind of questions because she's trying to learn. She was born in America. She's American, but she was trying to learn to see what happened in Jamaica, what happened in, where we're from, and things like that. So she wants to know those things because if not, if we don't tell those stories, then those stories sometimes they just die. You know what's sad sometimes that family wait until funeral to ask question they should have asked years ago or asked now. It's never too late. It's never too late to ask those questions. Ask your parents those questions. Ask your parents when they were going to school and they didn't wear any shoes or they could only wear their dress shoes on Sunday or something like that. There's many, many different stories. I still listen to my aunt and my mom. I still listen to them talk and tell story of when they were growing up in Jamaica and stuff like that. What really happened and how it was just so much fun and all the kids sleeping in the beds, probably 10 kids sleeping in one bed or something like that. So ask your parents, how did they meet? What was their struggle? What did they need to overcome? What was their first home like? What did they sacrifice for family? And you'd be surprised to know how much stuff that you have to sacrifice for a family. Sometimes a child grows up and thinking that they're rich, and then they realize when they grow, they realize they were really poor. Because a lot of times parents make it feels that way, make it looks that way, like everything is peachy cream. Because one day those voices will become memories and they will pass on and there will be no more. So you need to remember that. And sometimes the home is only the things that left behind or it hold pieces of the story from your grandparents or your mom. So young ones, reach out to your parents. I know that people go through life and they're mad at their dad, they're mad at their mom, and they never talk for many years, and now their mom or dad are passed on, and then all of a sudden, it's too late. They're gone. When they're gone, they're gone. So love on them right now. Okay. That's why I always tell family, take pictures, record conversation, and write down things so you will remember because the memories matters. Okay. The memories matter, family. So here's to my soldiers. Okay. Soldiers and homes. You know, something else I thought about this week. Something else I thought about this week. Imagine being a soldier overseas, thinking about home, thinking about your mom's cooking, okay? The child's laughter, your baby laughter, your wife waiting for you to come back home, your father sitting on the patio, the porch, okay? Home becomes everything when you're away from home. That's why they talk about there's no place like home, because there's no place like home. Okay. Home becomes everything. Everything is home. And some soldiers never got the chance to return home. So today, we thank their families for sending them, for allowing them to go. Okay. Because there's no place like home. Stop and take a drink. That's why Memorial Day should humble us, because they went for us. We are here today because they went for our freedom, okay, for our expensive, okay. Somebody paid for it. Freedom is not free. A lot of time we think it's free. It is not free. It comes on the heels of someone dying for us. So make sure we honor them. Make sure we appreciate them. Make sure we say thank them. Make sure we give them more than we take from them, because we already take enough from them. Okay. Okay. So next step is going to be our community connection. Okay. We thank you, soldiers. This time is community connection. One thing I love about our connectors in our communities and our golden talk with them, people generally genuinely care about each other in our community. Okay. I run the podcast called No Filter, No Script. Okay. Golden Focus Home here in Central Florida. And we generally care about each other. We check on each other. We make sure each other is okay. And today, in today's world, it matters. It matters a lot. So we need to make sure that we check on people that are lonely, people who are grieving, who quietly, because people don't always tell you everything. Okay. People carry memories and burdens nobody else sees, because they don't tell everything. Sometimes people die with broken hearts, because it's hard for them to tell you what is going on. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone is simply just check on them. Check on them and make sure they're okay. Call somebody today, visit a senior, invite someone to dinner, ask someone how they really how they really are doing. And be sincere about it. How are you really doing? Because home is not just a place. Sometimes home is a person. Sometimes it's a community. Sometimes home feels like you need to be seen. Okay. So that's home. What do you say home is to you? Home is something different to everyone. For those of you that are thinking about moving or right sizing or whatever it is that you do. Now for my seniors, section is for my seniors who may be thinking, Viv, this house is too much. Okay. I want to hear from you, and I want you to hear me clearly. Okay. This is not a shame to right size. It's not a shame to downsize. Okay. Home is where it's beautiful. You want to go home to it. It served a purpose at that time, but now it might be too big and hard to take care of. So that is where you need to say, okay, it's time to right size. It's time to downsize. And sometimes the next chapter is about peace, less stress, less maintenance, and more about living. Okay. Because even if you move, the memories still move with you. Okay. It doesn't stay inside that house. So let me encourage you today, seniors. If you're listening today and you recently lost someone, I'm praying for you, praying for strength, praying for health, praying for guidance. In this Memorial Day will bring emotion to a close, and then that will be okay for you to enjoy it. Grief is love with nowhere to go. Okay. So make sure that you are grieving if you need to, but remember, take time for yourself, take time to spend with loved one. And sometimes the memories inside your home, it's harder during the holidays. They always said it's during the holiday, it's it's more difficult during the holidays. So, we know that. But remember this: love never truly leaves a home. It lives inside of you. Not really? Really? You still hear the laughter? Yeah, you still hear the laughter. You can still remember the smell. You can still remember the story, and those memories become treasure. I hear story after story after story all the time about, how grandpa wants to go be with grandma. Grandpa is talking to grandma when grandma passed away first, or whichever way that it goes. But when people are ready to go, they're ready to go. Okay. But you're there to support them, to love on them while they're there. Memory loss is a heck of a thing. Alzheimer's is a heck of a thing. Sometimes you call your daughter, your son, your daughter, your grandkids, your daughter, just all kinds of stuff that goes on. As we head into this Memorial Day weekend, I want to challenge everybody to listen, honor someone who served, spend time with your family, listen to your seniors, okay? Create memories while you still can, because it's not always going to be there. And stop waiting on someday. Remember, someday is not promised to you, someday may never come. And if you or your family are thinking about buying a home, selling a home, right sizing, downsizing, relocating to Florida, or simply need guidance through life transition, because there's a lot of transition. As I transition into 60, 65 years old, let me tell you something, it's a lot older. That's why I started all of this, okay? Because I didn't know what to do, okay? And nobody tells you what to do. Okay. All right. You need simple guidance? Reach out. I'm here to help. I can help you. Okay. Not just as a realtor, but as someone who truly cares about people and the legacy that they leave and live. You can reach me anytime. Viv Cunningham. We're preferred real estate brokers here in Central Florida. And don't forget to share Golden Talk with Viv with somebody else who may need encouragement today. Everybody needs a little bit of encouragement, don't they? Of course they do. Come on now. Thank you for spending this day with me, a part of the day with me. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And I thank you for, always connecting with me, joining me on my podcast. It's coming up this Monday coming. We don't have a podcast, but then join me on June 1st. We will continue on with our podcast. So I thank you for spending this day with me and this weekend here on Golden Focus and Golden Talk. Anyway, yeah, to every family, every military family, to every Golden Star family, to every seniors carrying memories in their heart today. Hats off to you. Okay. We honor you. We see you. Okay. We love you and we thank you. Enjoy your family and enjoy your memories, and never forget, a house can be purchased, but a home is built through love, sacrifice, laughter, and time. Have an amazing Memorial Day weekend. And I look forward to connecting with you real soon. Thank you for joining us. Golden Talk with Viv. If you have any question, I am here. This is just honest